in to the hottest station on the planet.
Resistance is futile. The revolution has begun.
You're listening to Rebelpreneur Radio, helping you break the rules and build the business you need for the life you want. And now, broadcasting his pirate signal
from somewhere beyond the status quo,
here's your host, best-selling author, marketing and media strategist, Ralph Brogden.
Hello and welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio, the show that helps you build the business you need for the life you want. I'm Ralph Brogden. When you think about fitness, you do not necessarily think about having fun. But today's guest is known as the Fun Coach, and so she's going to show us how to make fitness fun. Her name is Tracy Rickard. She is known as the Fun Coach. She's the owner of Tracy's Total Wellness, Relax, Renew, and Revitalize. Tracy is a certified women's health coach, a yoga teacher, and a massage therapist, helping overwhelmed and exhausted women to find hormonal harmony through her customized stress reset system. That really sounds fascinating. She is on a mission to empower us to master self-care so we can stress less and access more energy and fun. Tracy Rickard, welcome to Rebelpreneur Radio.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Thanks so much for your time today. So tell us more about how you make fitness fun. Why are you known as the Fun Coach?
Well, as my tagline in itself says, relax, renew, revitalize. Those are the pillars that I really run everything that I do. And what relax means is we have to get quiet. We have to listen to our own internal selves, not the shoulds, the woulds, what other people say. Then we also have to set healthy boundaries in our lives. We have to renew. We have to reset when things need to be reset, if we need to restructure our life or whatever's going on in career, fitness plan. It doesn't necessarily matter what it is. There is that level of resetting that needs to occur. And then ultimately, this is so that we can have more fun. So the fun is almost the Sunday at the end of the work. And I find a lot of people struggle with enjoying themselves, having more pleasure, having more fun in their lives because they have put themselves into their bodies, their life, their career, whatever it might be, into some cookie cutter version, feeling like they need to fit in or they need to look or do things a certain way. And when we can just tap into what we enjoy more, we have more fun.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. But a lot of people don't connect fun with fitness. They connect fitness to things like, oh, it's so much work. But you work with them, you empower them so that they can not stress out over the thing that's supposed to be making them healthy. How did you get started doing this?
Well, I was doing a lot of fitness things that did not offer me fun. And ultimately, when I really speak about the word fitness and my experience with fitness, at first it really wasn't enjoyable. And so I didn't necessarily do it. I was introduced to yoga probably about 15 years ago. And I was like, oh, wow, I can move my body in a way that it likes. And I can enjoy moving my body. And I'm starting to see results. So in the realm of fitness, that's really how I got started. Is I needed some form of physical activity that I enjoyed because I just started to become very miserable. And I noticed that started to affect other parts of my life. And it became more of this task on my to-do list to get done versus almost like a ritual of self-care. And since I've been in the fitness industry for over a decade now, from teaching yoga at gyms to studios to out in parks, I've witnessed the people that really enjoy it, and I've witnessed the people that don't. And some people, yoga is not the thing that they enjoy doing, but I can just see it's almost you can see it emit off of their bodies when they're actually enjoying what they're doing and how they're moving their body, instead of some of these other people that you can just tell that they just aren't enjoying what they're doing.
It looks more like torture than
yes. I've seen people on treadmills at the gym that look like that. They look like they are putting themselves through torture.
Well, I try to have fun on the treadmill because I always try to watch something that is like a serial thing on Netflix or Amazon Prime. So I'm trying to incorporate fun into the fitness, but it's kind of slow. You actually work with a particular type of person. Tell us more about who you help and what exactly you do for them.
Yeah, so I'm primarily a women's coach. So I work a lot with women's health and primarily with hormonal imbalances that usually are causing some mood issues. Sometimes it can be some weight problems. And a lot of times stress is the underlying cause of all of it. So that's why I usually tell people everything I do is very customized, because every woman is very different. And when our hormones are out of whack, our life is out of whack. And usually the people that are closest to us suffer as well.
How do women's, and I don't know, maybe this is a guy thing too, but how do women's hormones get out of whack? What's going on there?
So there's several factors that can be involved. Nowadays, there is toxicity, which affects men and women, and just due to all the chemicals and so many more toxins that we're exposed to on a daily basis, it literally disrupts our endocrine system. It tells our endocrine system sometimes there's something going on that's not necessarily there. There's things called endocrine disruptors. So it could be a chemical toxicity issue. Then there is genetics play a part, but from the experience I've had, they're not a huge part. But there are certain women that could be predisposed to, say, progesterone issues, or there could actually be a structural issue for women why they can't conceive. Doesn't necessarily mean their hormones are out of balance, but something's going on there. And then usually the root cause for most people is stress.
Interesting. So stress is the underlying factor, which then it makes sense to bring fun, incorporate fun into your workout and do things that you enjoy. You're saying that's going to not just reduce the stress and make you more fit, but it's going to possibly reverse that hormonal imbalance that was caused by stress in the first place?
Correct. Yes. So there's many other factors that could be causing a hormonal imbalance, but I have found in all the work I've done, stress is the main reason. And most people, you throw out any health concern, you can somehow connect or correlate stress to it.
Interesting.
The reason is stress causes the body to go into an inflammatory response. And when we're inflamed, our body can't function optimally. So actually, people that are working out stressed are doing themselves a detriment versus a gift. Because when they're in a stress state, their digestion has shut down. They are in fat storage mode. They are not in burning mode whatsoever. And usually what occurs for people is the workout themselves, the fitness they're doing, is causing them stress. And so the next meal they eat goes right to fat storage. It's not used for fuel. And I see this time and time again with a lot of people that think they're actually doing themselves a service when it could be a disservice, because they're putting themselves into that fight or flight stress response mode. It happens a lot.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, so then that means that we have to not just pay attention to our physical routines, but also what's going on in our mind, our emotions. So it's a really a holistic approach, and that's where the harmony comes from. So we've talked about stress and women in particular who have hormonal imbalances for whatever reason. But what would you say, maybe this is it, but what's the most common problem you see when you're trying to help the people that you're helping? Even if they get this and say, okay, it's stress or it's hormonal imbalance, what's the biggest obstacle that you see over and over again?
I work with a lot of women that have a lot of things on their to-do list. And so to add one more thing to it seems like a tsunami wave is going to come and literally throw their life off. So it's mostly time for most of the women that I'm working with. They can't see this light at the end of the tunnel because they're just stuck in all of what they think are the responsibilities. But I help to sometimes just invite mini rituals, mini activities throughout the day so that themselves can function more in an optimal rate. But most of the time, it is time. So finding the time to do it.
So how do you take someone who doesn't think they have time? Where do you get that from? How do you get them to reframe that around to you can't afford not to take the time?
So I have started the practice probably about 3 years ago. I did a little rebrand in my business, and I really started this idea of mini ritual, that small hinges swing big doors. And I reframed fitness actually into pleasurable activity. That some people, they just have these ideals set that they have to, say, get to the gym. And when they don't, they actually judge and shame themselves and guilt themselves. And a lot of times it's what keeps people from going. When I say, okay, there's a lot going on in your life, but do you have 5 or 10 minutes today? They're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Pop up YouTube, or you got to clean the house today. Can you put on some fun music and have a dance party while you're vacuuming? Whatever it might be, it's to start to help them to understand there is always time, but it's ultimately the choice we make about the time we're spending.
It's really more about priorities than it is
Correct.
about time. And so you're
Correct.
helping people to kind of reposition what fitness or what this whole thing is all about. Wellness. It's more than just fitness, it sounds like.
It is way more than fitness, but fitness, or in the way I explain it, pleasurable activity, it's an act of self-care. People actually go to the gym, say, if they were looking at it in a well-rounded, authentic way, to take care of their bodies. It is an act of self-care, which if you go even deeper, it's an act of self-love. And you can tell the people that work out that are doing it for the love of their body versus they feel they should, or there is some form of displeasure in it. So what I try and do is I try and offer mini activities every day, because consistent and persistent action is what changes habits for people. So I can offer them 5 to 10 minutes, and if they say yes to that and then they enjoy that time, there's a part in their brain that is like, okay, this is actually pleasurable. I like it. I want more of this. Instead of trying to get them to do these tasks for long lengths of time, there's a part of their brain that is saying, oh no, that ain't going to happen. Yeah, you're going to try it. Ain't going to happen. And then that year membership you used is like going down the toilet. So I like to move slowly in this form of mini ritual, because then there are these parts. I mean, on a psychological level, there are literally parts of us, and we have our limbic system, many other systems in our brain. So if we can get, as in my coaching community say, the green light in all areas, the yes in all areas of our brain and our psyche, then we're more likely to want more of it. Versus trying to throw too much all at once.
So that really is counterintuitive to the traditional wisdom that says, first of the year, January 1st, everyone needs to make a resolution and set these big, hairy, audacious goals, BHAG goals. And it's going to be, okay, I'm going to run a marathon. And human nature is such that when we try to take on too much too soon, we end up giving up too early to see the benefits. So what you're saying is it's better to start out with these mini rituals and just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but begin moving towards something and building from there.
Yeah. And I start there with clients that they don't have a fitness schedule or routine whatsoever. And they come to me thinking they're going to get to the gym 4 days a week when they haven't been there in like 4 months.
Right. Yeah. from 0 to 120 miles an hour in 3 seconds. And it's just not going to happen, is it?
Yeah. So that's why I customize everything based on wherever somebody's at. I want to meet them where they're at and help them to say yes at the level and the depth that's going to serve them.
Awesome. So how would working with someone like you really help them and get them to where they want to be faster? I mean, this might be hard to do. Pretend like I'm a woman. I don't sound like a woman, but pretend, I'm coming to you and I'm saying, okay, Tracy, I'm putting my life in your hands. What would you start doing with me that would be different from what I've been trying to do on my own?
Well, first off, I'm going to ask you what you want, and that might take a while to figure out the answer. A lot of people never ask themselves what they really want. They just tell themselves what they think they should want. So I want to know these goals or these things that you're desiring. I want to know what you truly want, what's underneath of it. And ultimately is how you're going to feel. And when we can tap into more of how you want to feel, then it's a lot easier to create actions from that, because it's just the way we are psychologically built. When we're like, this is going to make me feel this way. Yes, I want to do that more. So generally I start there with, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? We'll dive into it. I usually go into some deeper coaching questions, but I like to see what is they want. I also like to see where you're stuck right now currently, because I want to actually see what you don't want that you're doing every day.
And do you find there's a lot of people who actually say they want one thing, but their actions are leading them in a different direction?
Yes. And that is usually when I can see that somebody's goals have been set laced with judgment and shame versus authenticity. It happens a lot. There's a deep desire for all human beings to want to fit in. So we usually will do things that we think we should. This whole idea of the New Year's resolutions. Oh, it's what people are doing, so I should do it. And when we set goals, in any form of judgment or shame is attached to it, most of the time the goals aren't going to be achieved. And sometimes we'll be worse off than we were before. That's, the whole idea of the yo-yo dieting and what it actually can do to not only the physical body, the emotional system. So I like to ask what they want. And then I want to get curious, what do they enjoy doing? Because, I want to help. If we're looking in the whole idea of fitness, I want to make sure that it is a form of pleasure. It brings them pleasure in some way. And I also like to see maybe certain things in their life that could potentially get in the way of them achieving what they want, whether it be, okay, I have this desire to want to achieve X, Y, and Z this many hours of the day, but my job is this many hours of the day, and I need to eat, I need to be with my family, I need to sleep. So what I really look at is this well-rounded picture of what's going on with them, where are they stuck, what do they want, what might be getting in the way of what they want, and how we can reframe that and shift that. Because I work with women with stress and hormones, I look a little bit at the clinical stuff. Like, I see, where are they stressed out in their lives? What's going on? Could there be some other imbalances like thyroid problems, other things that are really holding them back from achieving their goals? And then I dive a little bit deeper into these questions. What do you really want? And that is how the transformation process occurs. Is I look at the clinical. It's very important to see what the system is doing, but then let's dive deeper. What do you actually want?
That really makes a lot of sense. And I think going back to something you said earlier about setting goals out of shame. And I think, isn't that kind of a reality of the social media connected world that we live in, where we're seeing pictures of fit people being posted to Instagram and Facebook, and they seem to be living these perfect lives. Do you think that there's even more pressure these days to try and live up to some impossible standard that really doesn't even apply to you, doesn't apply to your situation?
Yes, it happens all the time. And nowadays it's worse than ever, because we are on information overload. We're bombarded with way more information than ever before. Visually, auditorily, everywhere. It's just information overload. And a lot of it's false. It's unattainable. And especially in the media with physique and physical appearance. And a lot of these women don't even look like that, or these men don't look like that in person either.
Well, I mean, nobody ever posts a bad selfie picture. No, it's always, everything is perfect, and that's what they put out in front of the world to see. And being in media, I realize that everything is geared towards a certain look and a certain sound. So what you help people to do is to get connected with what they really want, who they really are, and not to judge themselves or set goals based on what everybody else says or what everybody else feels like, but what they feel like and what's going to make them feel good and what's going to be enjoyable to them. That's where your customization comes in.
Yep. Their deep why, as I call it. What is their deep why? And their deep why is some of them might say it, and we'll dive a little bit into that, but it's not looking like the person on the front of a magazine. That's not a deep why. That's not coming from a place of fulfillment. It's coming from a place of lack.
Very good. Very good. Tell us about your customized stress reset system. That sounds like a really cool thing. What is that all about?
I would love to. It's something I've been super excited about really bringing into my business a lot more in the last 3 years as I've really just up-leveled. I look at more than just one area of life. I don't just look at the physical body in and of itself. We are human beings. We sometimes try and become human doers. And that's usually when all our things start to occur in our lives. But I like to look at 4 different areas. I like to look at physical health. I like to look at our mindset, literally our mental health. What are the thoughts we are thinking on a daily basis, and how they could be affecting the choices that we make. Then I look at emotional, and what feelings are we feeling on a daily basis, and how are they dictating the choices we make. And then the deepest I do go is spiritual, and what is our purpose in our life. Now that can get really intense and deep for some people, and that's why I say everything I do is very customized. I pull in all of my background from my hormone training, health coaching, massage yoga. I pull in all of that. What I say is I meet a woman where she's ready to say yes to herself. She might not ready to go through this intensive health coaching program where she's working with me for months and diving deep into stuff. She's just not there, but she might be ready to finally go and start to get those pedicures more, get a massage, or find YouTube and do the 5-minute pleasurable activity. So I like to sit and listen with a woman, and then I see where she's at in those 4 areas: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And I customize based on where she's ready to say yes and where she really needs the nourishment. Like, what is really, really craving more nourishment? And that could be her physical. A lot of times the physical body is telling us things that our mental, emotional, or spiritual system just can't say, whether it's fatigue or overwhelm or whatever else is going on in our lives, or even inflammation, aches and pains. Our muscular system could actually be emotional. So I do like to look at the physical system first, and then we go deeper into those levels. Always looking at the physical body first, because it's the one that can tell us all these amazing messages without me having to go super deep into this intense conversation. All of a sudden, I use the physical body as a way to give me insight into what's going on in their mindset, their emotions, and their spiritual well-being, and offer them things. But ultimately, I want them to feel comfortable with the yes they're making.
Very cool. I like the holistic approach, because I think everything is connected, and, if we feel good, we'll do good. And if we're not feeling good, we're not going to perform. And so that there's so much in there that we really need to pay attention to in every area. What are you working on right now that's got you really excited?
Well, I am launching a women's group program this fall that I'm super excited about. I've been getting way more people that are wanting to work with me in more of an online format. I do a lot of in-person women's retreats and empowerment events, and obviously my office is in the Orlando, Florida area, but I've been getting people all over really interested in going deeper. So I'm launching actually a stress reset program for a group of women starting this fall, which I'm really excited about, where we can get together. And also, it actually is nourishment for women, is community. Men do need community as well, but it's been studied in the way our hormones are built as women, that being around a like-minded group of other women actually releases oxytocin, and it helps our endorphins. So it is feel-good medicine just by being with more like-minded people. And women, ultimately, they can just tap into it a little bit more than men can, based on the way our hormones are structured and built. So I wanted to bring that in, because I myself was in an amazing online group program And I saw the phenomenal benefits just of the community aspect.
Yeah, very important. And then with my studies in psychology and organizational behavior and different things of that nature, it's been found that online groups are very efficacious, just as much as gathering in a physical environment. Just the peer coaching and the peer support of an online group is statistically not much different. But there's a lot of advantages to being online. For one thing, you can connect with more people, and it's easier, it's quicker, and you can really scale that up. So that's really awesome. You've got a lot of great ideas, and it's good to see you putting all of this effort into a holistic approach, which is really, really cool. How can our listeners get in touch with you if they want to find out more about your products and services and your community and things of that nature?
Yes, so they can definitely find me on my website, which is tracystotalwellness.com. And my name is spelled Tracy, so tracystotalwellness.com. There is a really amazing free ebook gift, and this is for anybody, not just women, but I particularly cater to women. But it is the foundational tools of that stress reset system and how you can increase your energy and decrease your stress in just 9 days by the performance of these mini rituals. And I look at all 4 of those areas we spoke about, but how to nourish all 4 of those areas with the practice of mini rituals so you can start to feel better fairly quickly.
Cool.
That's something that's completely free. It's right on the front page of my website when somebody goes to my website. They can also find me on YouTube, the whole shebang, Instagram, Facebook. But I do these really fun videos on Wednesdays called Wellness Wednesday, and they are just fun, quick, tiny little videos that are usually there's about 4 Wednesdays every month. Sometimes we hit that 5th, but they're in the realm of yoga and then how to help the muscular system, usually by self-massage techniques or relaxation techniques. And then I tap into the world of essential oils a little bit, and usually self-care techniques. So they're quick little inspirational videos. They usually don't last more than like a minute and a half. So it's a great way for people to reboot and reset on a weekly basis as well.
Very cool. Lots of education and information as well as inspiration. And so check that out, Tracy'sTotalWellness.com. This has been great, Tracy. Any final thoughts or words of wisdom you'd like to share with our listeners as we wrap things up?
The final thought I would just like to say is remember that thing I had mentioned earlier is when setting goals, whether it be in the realm of fitness or diet, whatever it is this intention coming from a place of lack, or is it coming from a place of fulfillment?
Excellent. Words of wisdom from Tracy Rickard, the fun coach. She's the owner of Tracy's Total Wellness, Relax, Renew, Revitalize. She's a certified women's health coach, yoga teacher, and massage therapist. You can find out more at Tracy'sTotalWellness.com. Thanks, Tracy, for being on the show today. I really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
My pleasure, Ralph. I appreciate it as well.
You've been listening to Rebelpreneur Radio with Ralph Brogden. Download the show notes and much more at ralphbrogden.com.